What's up, everybody? Ryan here to go over some week 4 previews. This one we've got first, second, third rounders plus Rams versus You're on Mahomes Kids. That's Johnson versus Michelle. Let's get right into it. Taking a look at Johnson's team here, we got Trevor Lawrence, AJ Brown, Tyler Lockett, Bijan Robinson, Travis Etienne, Dalton Kincaid, Chris Godwin, and DeAndre Hopkins starting. And currently I'm liking AJ Brown, Tyler Lockett, Etienne possibly, and Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid, he's in that Buffalo Miami game. Again, they're in a high over under. Right now it's over under 54. So slated to be high scoring game here. I am liking AJ Brown. He's got that connection with Jalen Hurts. And Washington does give up quite a few points to the wide receiver position. AJ Brown has seen a good amount of usage, 14 targets in his last game with 131 yards. He's got no touchdowns yet, so we're expecting a touchdown anytime soon. It could be in this Washington game here. Tyler Lockett, again, it's another sneaky shootout game here. Going up against the Giants, Tyler Lockett has seen a good amount of usage here. He does see usually around 7 targets per game, and he had that 2 touchdown game against Detroit. He could have another multi-touchdown game here if DK Metcalf gets shut down. Dalton Kincaid, I already talked about. Etienne, again, I'm liking Etienne. Jacksonville has been giving him quite a bit of usage. He's seen 19 rushing attempts in the last game, 88 yards. He's also seen his fair share of targets as well, which is what you want from a running back, especially in our half PPR format. Now, I'm not liking Bijan Robinson 100% yet. He hasn't shown me 100% that he can be the number 1 running back overall in the league. And Jacksonville surprisingly is pretty strong up against the running game. Chris Godwin also, while I like him as a player overall, he hasn't seen much usage with Baker Mayfield. Baker seems to have been targeting Mike Evans a lot lately. And then DeAndre Hopkins, this offense here, I don't know what's going on. 13 targets in the first game, and then it's kind of dropped off. We want to see these 13 targets, maybe 10 targets for DeAndre Hopkins. But Ryan Tannehill, the Tennessee offense, they haven't really been able to get much moving here. Johnson does have Treylon Burks, Gabe Davis, Damian Harris, Antonio Gibson, Garrett Wilson all on the bench. Garrett Wilson might be a sneaky start here up against KC. They might have to air the ball out, and even though he's got Zach Wilson currently, again, they're going to have to air the ball out. Kansas City's going to put up a ton of points, I think. Gabe Davis, if I were taking a look here, I might start Gabe Davis over DeAndre Hopkins just because we're looking at our upside game here. Now, taking a look at Michelle's team. Going back to Gabe Davis. I left that off. And again, that Buffalo-Miami game, even though you're starting Kincaid, Gabe Davis might also receive a ton of points here. The only other person that you might start is Garrett Wilson, but do you trust Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson connection? So Gabe Davis, again, but this is a boomer bust player, so you never know. He might go off, he might not. Okay, now we can take a look at Michelle's team here. She's got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Josh Kelly, Kendre Miller, Evan Engram, DeAndre Swift, and Mike Thomas starting. So again, I was talking about Patrick Mahomes. I think that they're going to be pretty good. I think they're going to have a pretty high scoring game here. Let's take a look at their over-under. Am I missing it? Kansas City and the Jets. There it is. 43. So it's not as high as you would think, but still it's possible. Again, Patrick Mahomes does amazing things. Justin Jefferson, you're going to start him no matter who he's playing. He is just ridiculous. Drake London, I'm not super hot on Drake London. Desmond Ridder doesn't really throw the ball around too many times. Look at this here. We saw 8 targets. It went up from 1 to 8 and then back down to 6. And again, we're not going to see much usage out of Drake London, Kyle Pitts, because Arthur Smith and Atlanta, they love to run the ball. Joshua Kelly, I don't know if that's going to be a good start here, just because Austin Eckler might possibly come back in this game. If Eckler doesn't come back, still again, Joshua Kelly has been kind of meh. You haven't seen really good usage. In this case, you might want to possibly go Najee Harris. I don't like Najee Harris, the player, but he might have a better game than Josh Kelly. Kendre Miller, I don't like Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller has Alvin Kamara coming back from suspension this week, and Alvin Kamara is probably going to step into his normal role, which is going to be the main pass catching guy. So I think Alvin Kamara is going to get more usage than Kendre Miller here. But again, Kendre Miller is the rookie, so he might show up and try to cut out his own piece of the pie here in the running back field. Evan Engram, you're going to start him. He's been playing really great. So I love this guy here at the tight end position. DeAndre Swift, you're going to ride the hot hand here. 175, 130 yards in the last 2 games. You got to play him. Up until he starts to show signs, or he has that bomb game, you got to play DeAndre Swift and run the hot hand. Mike Thomas, again, consistent, not necessarily high scoring, but if he does, let's say he gets these 9 and 6 and 50, 6 receptions for 50 yards, and if he gets that touchdown, you're off to 14 points there. So that's pretty good from your flex. So really quick, let's take a look at one other thing here. I noticed that Johnson has Tyler Lockett on the Monday night game in his starting wide receiver, and then he's also got Chris Godwin and DeAndre Hopkins both on Sunday morning 10 a.m. games in the flex. If I were Johnson, I might move one of these guys into my starting position and Tyler Lockett down into the flex. Really, you want to play your early starting players in the starting position. That way, like let's say Johnson decides to start Chris Godwin here. If Chris Godwin doesn't play very well here in your starting position, then moving forward in your flex position, so that way you have a chance later on throughout the day to move players around, pick up a player if you need to that's playing in a later game. If you need high upside scoring, then you can make that move. You can change out Chris Godwin for Gabe Davis or something like that. So take a look at your flex, try to get your early morning guys out of the flex and into your starting position, and your later afternoon, Monday night or Sunday night games into the flex position. All right. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.